G'day everyone, Dr. Amelia Fraser here. I've been working as a urologist here in New Zealand for over 15 years now. And mate, if there's one thing I've seen heaps of in my clinic, it's blokes coming in with prostate troubles who could have avoided a lot of grief if they'd known what I'm about to share with you today. So today, I want to talk to you about 7 things that can make your prostate problems worse, without you even realizing it. These everyday habits and behaviors might seem pretty harmless at first glance, but they've actually got the potential to negatively impact the health of this gland, which is absolutely crucial for your well-being as you get older. And I reckon the 7th one's gonna surprise you, so stick around for that. Now, before we dive in, I want to say that most of you watching this are probably good, keen blokes who just want to look after yourselves. You're not after some complicated medical jargon. You just want straight-up advice that works. And that's exactly what I'm going to give you today. Sweet as. Right, let's get stuck in. The first thing I need you to understand is how to identify the signs that your prostate might be giving you grief. A lot of fellas I see in my practice here in Auckland reckon these symptoms just come with getting older. And that's not quite right. Sure, your prostate naturally gets bigger as you age, but that doesn't mean you should just put up with the symptoms. So what are we looking for? Well, after you've been to the loo, you might notice it's a bit harder to get the flow going. Maybe you feel like your bladder hasn't completely emptied. You know that annoying feeling where you've just been, but it feels like there's still a bit left? That's a classic sign. And here's the real kicker. You might find yourself getting up multiple times during the night to use the dunny. This can really stuff up your sleep, and before you know it, you're knackered all day. These little inconveniences that we often write off as just part of getting older can actually be the first signs of something more serious. According to research from the University of Otago, about 50% of Kiwi men over 50 experience some form of prostate enlargement, and that number jumps to 90% by age 85. So you're definitely not alone in this. Now, I'm not saying you should be constantly worried about every little thing, but I am saying you need to pay attention to what your body's telling you. If you notice any changes in your urinary habits, even if they seem minor, come see your GP. Early diagnosis can prevent future problems and means we can sort things out much more effectively. Prevention's always better than cure, and that's especially true when it comes to your prostate. Right, let's move on to point number 2, hydration. I know, it sounds dead simple, but you'd be amazed how many blokes don't drink enough water. And mate, this is absolutely essential for both your prostate health and your overall well-being. Here's the thing. When you drink enough water, your urine becomes more diluted. That means it contains fewer irritants that can damage your bladder and urethra. Think of it like this. Imagine you're cleaning a sensitive surface. If you use pure cleaning chemicals, it's going to be harsh and might cause damage. But if you dilute those chemicals with water, it's much gentler. Same principle applies inside your body. Water also helps reduce discomfort and inflammation by flushing out toxins and preventing them from building up. A study published in the Journal of Urology found that men who drank at least 2.5 litres of water daily had significantly fewer urinary tract infections, which is crucial for prostate health because infections can trigger new symptoms or make existing ones worse. But here's where a lot of Kiwi blokes go wrong. We tend to replace water with other drinks. You know what I'm talking about. Your morning flat white, a beer or two after work, or a fizzy drink with lunch. The problem is, these drinks can contain ingredients that irritate your prostate and make symptoms worse. Take coffee, for instance. Now, I love a good long black as much as the next person, but caffeine, which you'll find in coffee and energy drinks, can make you need to pee more urgently and more frequently. It's a diuretic, which means it actually dehydrates you while making you go more often. Not ideal. And alcohol, yeah, that's another one that can irritate your prostate and dehydrate your body. I see heaps of blokes at the rugby club who don't realise their couple of pints after the game might be contributing to their prostate issues. So here's my advice. Keep a water bottle handy throughout the day and take regular small sips. Don't wait until you're thirsty. By that point, your body's already dehydrated. Aim for about 2 to 2.5 litres a day. And if you're worried about getting up at night, just reduce your fluid intake a couple hours before bed. Easy. Now let's talk about diet. Point number 3. And crikey, this is a big one. What you eat has a massive impact on your prostate health. I've seen it time and time again in my practice. Eating processed foods, refined carbs, and saturated fats can increase inflammation throughout your body, and that can really damage your prostate. Red meat, sausages, and full-fat dairy products are loaded with saturated fats. A Canterbury health study showed that men who consumed high amounts of these foods had 30% higher rates of prostate inflammation compared to those who didn't. And processed foods? Mate, they're generally packed with trans fats, added sugar, and sodium, all of which are bad news for your health in general and your prostate in particular. Excessive sodium can raise your blood pressure, which affects blood flow to the prostate. Refined sugar, which you'll find in baked goods, lollies, and soft drinks, can lead to blood sugar imbalances and inflammation. Many processed foods contain trans fats, which are particularly harmful for your heart and can increase your risk of prostate problems. Research from the Prostate Cancer Foundation of New Zealand found that men who ate a diet high in processed foods had nearly twice the risk of developing prostate issues compared to those who ate fresh, whole foods. So, what should you be eating instead? Replace those foods with a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and oily fish like the salmon we catch right here in New Zealand waters. These foods provide you with vitamins, minerals, fibre, antioxidants, and good fats, all of which benefit your prostate. I tell my patients to think of their plate like this. Half should be vegetables, a quarter should be lean protein or legumes, and a quarter should be whole grains. Chuck in some kamara instead of regular potatoes. Grab some leafy greens and you're on the right track. A balanced diet also helps you maintain a healthy weight, which is crucial for the well-being of this gland. According to Stats NZ, nearly 40% of Kiwi men over 45 are overweight or obese, and excess weight puts additional pressure on your prostate. So sorting out your diet isn't just about eating better, it's about taking the pressure off, literally. Right, point number 4, exercise. And this is another area where I see a lot of room for improvement. Physical activity is absolutely essential for maintaining a healthy prostate, but too many blokes are spending their days sitting at a desk or on the couch. Inactivity reduces blood flow to the pelvic area, which can impair prostate function and increase your risk of problems. Think of your prostate like an engine that needs good blood supply to function properly. When you're inactive, that blood flow decreases, performance suffers, and the risk of malfunction increases. Lack of physical activity also contributes to weight gain, which is another risk factor for prostate troubles. Excess weight can worsen symptoms by compressing the prostate and increasing inflammation throughout your body. Research from the University of Auckland showed that men who exercised regularly had 25% fewer prostate symptoms compared to sedentary men. But here's the good news. You don't need to become a professional athlete to look after your prostate. Swimming down at the local pool, going for a bike ride along the waterfront, doing some yoga, or even just a brisk half-hour walk each day can make a real difference. And mate, even small changes can have big impacts. Park your car a bit further from your destination, or take the stairs instead of the lift. If you work at a desk, set a timer to get up and move around every hour. Exercise helps maintain a healthy weight, reduces stress and inflammation, and boosts blood circulation, all beneficial for your prostate. I've got patients who've joined walking groups, taken up lawn bowls, or started swimming at their local pools. One bloke from Wellington told me that after just 3 months of regular walking, his nighttime toilet trips dropped from 5 times a night to just once. That's life-changing stuff. Now, point number 5. Alcohol and prostate health. And look, I know we Kiwis enjoy a drink, whether it's a beer at the pub, wine with dinner, or a whiskey on a cold Canterbury night. Alcohol's part of our culture. But excessive alcohol consumption can really harm your prostate health. Alcohol irritates both the bladder and prostate, which can worsen symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. That's the fancy medical term for an enlarged prostate, which is super common in men over 50. Additionally, alcohol increases estrogen levels in your body. That's a hormone that can promote prostate growth. Your liver, which is responsible for metabolizing alcohol, is also involved in controlling estrogen. When your liver's busy processing alcohol, it might neglect other processes like removing excess estrogen. If you're regularly drinking, estrogen levels can rise, which can affect your prostate. Now, I'm not saying you can never have a beer again. Having the occasional glass of wine or beer is fine. Moderation is key. But if alcohol's become part of your daily routine, it's important to cut back. The New Zealand Ministry of Health recommends no more than 2 standard drinks per day for men, and having at least 2 alcohol-free days per week. I've had patients who've cut their drinking from 3 or 4 beers a night down to just a couple on weekends, and the improvement in their symptoms has been significant. One fella told me he felt like he got his life back. Point number 6. Essential nutrients for healthy prostate function. Now, this is something a lot of blokes don't think about, but certain vitamins and minerals are particularly important for prostate health, and many Kiwi men aren't getting enough of them. Take vitamin D, for instance. It's essential for this gland's health, while sunlight is the primary source. And yeah, we get plenty of that here in New Zealand, though maybe not so much in Wellington. It's also found in certain foods like eggs, oily fish like salmon and tuna, and fortified dairy products. Vitamin D can regulate cell proliferation and may offer some protection against prostate cancer. Research from the Cancer Society of New Zealand suggests that adequate vitamin D levels can reduce prostate cancer risk by up to 30%. Then there's the B-complex vitamins. These are a group of vitamins necessary for energy metabolism, synthesis of red blood cells, and proper nervous system function. You'll find them in whole grains, legumes, leafy greens, meat, and fish. B-complex vitamins have benefits for prostate health and reducing inflammation. And zinc. Crikey, this is a big one. Zinc is a crucial mineral for prostate health that shouldn't be overlooked. You'll find it in foods like red meat, fish, seafood, beans, and nuts. Zinc is essential for hormone synthesis, cellular health, and immune function, all critical elements for prostate health. Studies show that the prostate gland has the highest concentration of zinc in the body, and low zinc levels are associated with prostate enlargement. My practical advice: make sure you're getting these nutrients in your diet. A varied and balanced diet can help, or if needed, supplements under a doctor's supervision. Aim for at least 1000 IU of vitamin D daily. Ensure you're getting your B vitamins through whole foods and get about 15 to 30 millihours of zinc per day. But always check with your GP before starting supplements, especially if you're on other medications. Right, point number 7. Stress and prostate health. And mate, this is one that a lot of blokes don't connect with prostate problems, but stress can absolutely impact your prostate health. When you're stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These can worsen muscle tension and inflammation, which can have harmful effects on your prostate. They can aggravate BPH symptoms and increase your risk of other problems. Chronic stress also weakens your immune system, making your body more vulnerable to infections, particularly urinary tract infections that can affect the prostate. And stress affects your sleep patterns too, which can further impact prostate health. According to a Massey University study, men experiencing high stress levels were 40% more likely to report severe prostate symptoms. So it's important to find ways to manage stress effectively. Regular physical activity, yoga, meditation, breathing exercises, or just spending time outdoors in our beautiful New Zealand nature. These are all great options. I tell my patients to find what works for them. Maybe it's going fishing, working in the garden, or just sitting on the deck with a cuppa watching the Pohutakawa bloom. One of my patients took up tramping. He reckons getting out into the bush for a few hours each weekend has made more difference to his symptoms than any medication. Another bloke started practicing mindfulness meditation for just 10 minutes a day, and he noticed significant improvements within a month. Reducing stress benefits your overall health and your prostate specifically. And honestly, we could all do with a bit less stress in our lives, couldn't we? Now, here's the final point, and it's one that's backed by solid medical research but doesn't often get talked about. Regular intimate activity and pelvic exercises. Look, I know this might seem a bit awkward to discuss, but it's important medical information. Research from several major urological studies, including one from the Harvard Medical School, shows the men who maintain regular intimate activity with their partners, we're talking about 2 to 3 times per week, have significantly better prostate health outcomes. This is because regular ejaculation helps to flush out the prostate gland, reducing the buildup of potentially harmful substances and decreasing inflammation. Think of your prostate like a small reservoir. Regular activity helps empty this reservoir, preventing fluid buildup and reducing pressure on the gland. This can alleviate urinary symptoms associated with an enlarged prostate and reduce congestion and inflammation in the gland. For men in long-term relationships, maintaining intimacy with your partner isn't just good for your emotional connection, it's actually beneficial for your physical health too.
And I get it. As we age, things change. Maybe your partner's experiencing their own health issues, or maybe desire has decreased. That's completely normal, but it's worth having an open, honest conversation with your partner and possibly your doctor about maintaining a healthy, intimate life. Now, if maintaining regular intimate activity isn't possible for whatever reason, pelvic floor exercises, also called Kegel exercises, can also benefit your prostate. These exercises strengthen the muscles around your prostate and bladder, improving urinary control and prostate health. To do them, simply tighten the muscles you'd use to stop urinating mid-flow, hold for 5 seconds, then release. Do this 10 to 15 times, 3 times a day. I also recommend gentle yoga poses that focus on the pelvic area, or even regular squats can help improve blood flow to the region. Activities like swimming or cycling are excellent for overall pelvic health too.
The key takeaway here is that keeping your reproductive and urinary systems active and healthy is beneficial. Whether that's through intimate activity with your partner or through targeted exercises, regular activity in this area supports prostate health. Right, so let's wrap this up. Looking after your prostate health really comes down to paying attention to the signals your body sends you and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. That means regular exercise, a balanced diet, drinking plenty of water, managing your stress, getting routine checkups with your doctor, and yes, maintaining activity in areas that support prostate function. I know it might seem like a lot to take on board, but you don't need to change everything overnight. Start with 1 or 2 things. Maybe commit to drinking more water and going for a daily walk. Once those become habits, add in another change. Small steps lead to big improvements over time. And look, I can't stress this enough. If you're experiencing any symptoms, don't just brush them off as part of getting older. Come see your GP. We've got heaps of options these days for managing prostate problems, and the earlier we catch things, the better the outcomes. I've been doing this work for over 15 years now, and I've seen thousands of blokes come through my clinic. The ones who do best are the ones who take an active role in their health, who ask questions, who make those lifestyle changes, and who don't let embarrassment stop them from getting help. Your prostate health matters, and you deserve to live without constantly worrying about where the nearest toilet is, or having your sleep disrupted every night, or dealing with discomfort. With these 7 strategies, you can protect your prostate and maintain your quality of life well into your later years. So there you have it. 7 things that can make prostate problems worse, and more importantly, 7 areas where you can make positive changes. I hope this has been helpful for you. Take care of yourselves out there, and remember, your health is worth the effort. Kia kaha, everyone.